My memory of my childhood was sad. I always longed for the love of my mother, who passed away when I was 4, and whose face I don't remember, as she left no photograph. Tony DeLeon Pizarro. Tony DeLeon Pizarro, the man behind the uniform. How a poor and orphan boy from the Philippines achieved financial and philanthropic success in America, by Simeon G. Silverio, Jr. The greatest achievement of the human spirit is to live up to one's opportunities and make the most of one's resources. Vauvenargues, French philosopher, 1715–1747. Only in America, a dream come true. It was August 9, 2009, when Tony DeLeon Pizarro, a retired Filipino-American United States Navy supply officer, successful businessman and philanthropist, woke up in his brand-new Tuscan-style villa, a mansion he built at Fairbanks Ranch in Rancho Santa Fe, California, one of the most affluent and prestigious communities in the United States. He put on his robe, got off the bed, and stepped out of the spacious suite. His wife, Priscilla Santos Pizarro, a retired doctor of medicine, was still asleep. As he emerged from the room and on his way downstairs, he passed by the pictures of their grown children, Gerard and Wendy, hanging on the wall. Both are lawyers. Gerard has a successful legal practice in San Francisco and the CEO of Arcanyware, while Wendy, a Harvard University Juris Doctor graduate, chose to move back to San Diego from San Francisco, where she now specializes in trusts and estates. It was the last leg of a legal tour de force that began when she attended college at Yale University, stayed on for a master's degree, and then proceeded to Oxford University in Cambridge, England for another degree. Both exemplary and ambitious, brother and sister established a law firm named California Law Partners in San Diego, California. Tony grabbed a hot latte and sauntered out of the door to his beautiful backyard. Sitting in a lounge chair next to the swimming pool, he savored the cool morning air as sunlight poured through the trees. It was the family's first morning in the new house. For many people, the villa symbolizes the pinnacle of success. The extraordinary world-class estate is serene, spacious, and has sophisticated elegance. Hidden by its rustic surroundings, Rancho Santa Fe, the gated enclave Tony now called home, stuns the imagination with amenities that include a superb equestrian center, tennis courts, lake activities, a putting green, volleyball, children playground, jogging trails, and a 10,000 CFF clubhouse equipped with kitchen facilities. One of the richest men in the United States has a property in the area because one of his daughters is an accomplished equestrian. A gift to his wife, the Pizarro Dream Home was conceived in the mind of Tony in the mid-70s. It was an exciting time to build the ultimate legacy. With the coveted land in the Pizarro's name, Tony became abuzz with ideas of how their home would look like. How many bedrooms and bathrooms? Or do they want a swimming pool or a basketball court with it? How big they would want their entertainment room to be. Not only that, the kids had grown up. Gerard was already in college while Wendy was still at the University of San Diego High School. How will they build? The pieces were falling in place and the plan coming together. Trip to Spain. But it would take a serendipitous trip to Spain to seal the character of the home with the Pizarro family coat of arms. In July of 2002, Tony participated with the running of the Bulls in Ciudad Pamplona, Spain, and on his way back to Madrid, he traveled as far back in Ciudad Trujillo, to which King John II of Spain had commissioned Francisco Javier Pizarro to travel to South America, and where he became the conquistador of Peru. That was in 1643. During Tony's visit, he met the present older Pizarro family still living in the city of Trujillo. As a souvenir of his fortuitous visit, he brought home with him the Pizarro family coat of arms and family crest. He had the family crest bearing 2 bears and a tree, signifying peace and sincerity, placed in every window of his house. While he could not prove direct lineage to the great historical figure, his family in Orion, Bataan in the Philippines, being poor farmers as far as his kinfolk could remember, he nonetheless claimed affinity by way of the shared last name. The Pizarro estate sits on a 1.5 acre of elevated land amongst other properties. It has a 14,000 sexaf of livable space to include a guest house. It has 8 bedrooms and 8.5 bathrooms, a luxurious home theater, a spacious chairman of the board library, a doctor's office, his wife being a physician, a putting green, a custom-built rock-heated swimming pool with a spa, a temperature-controlled wine room, a BBQ pit equipped with an open fire pit, 5 private patios, a 4-car garage, a covered entranceway, 4 elegant fireplaces, informal family rooms, private grandson rooms, a formal and informal dining room, an elegant formal receiving room. It also offers a private cigar lounge/patio and exercise pad. The house itself is equipped with sub-zero high-end appliances and 5 stations of air conditioning and heating units. Every room is wired for Wi-Fi, music, and intercom systems. A master builder of dreams, Tony had built a magical estate as his gift for his wife, Dr. Priscilla Santos Pizarro, for her continued support that spanned a lifetime of standing by her husband's impossible dreams that came true. Philanthropic endeavors. Tony Pizarro's success in business also enabled him to indulge in the family's philanthropic endeavors. In 2008, the family, with the help of other kababayans, Filipino countrymen, built the Santos Pizarro Gawad Kalinga village, giving care, donating 42 homes for the poorest of the poor in their hometown in Orphan, Bataan, in the Philippines. Gawad Kalinga is a nationwide social project headed by Tony Melodo that encourages people to build free housing for the poor in the Philippines, as well as in other parts of the world. In 2010, his wife Priscilla donated $100,000 to her alma mater, the University of Santo Tomas Medical School in Manila. The family's other charitable projects include the cleaning up of the Orion River in their hometown, the building of 2 Catholic chapels, the family's participation in free medical missions to the Philippines and Vietnam for 19 years, the cleaning up of the Bataan Death March markers, and the launching of multiple scholarships and book drives. On April 1, 2005, Tony was invited by the principal of his high school alma mater, Jose Rizal Institute, to be the guest speaker in its graduation ceremonies. Before the event, he asked for a quick tour of the school. After seeing the best classroom, Tony was taken to the worst room. The sight of his former classroom, where he spent many school hours, brought back many sad and fond memories to him. Tony sat down in the same desk assigned to him in high school and for a moment reflected on his high school days. Tears came out of his eyes. The principal and the staff watched in silence as Tony uttered to himself a thankful and solemn prayer to God, for he felt so lucky he was able to join the U.S. Navy, which enabled him to become a success while his other classmates were not. After the tour, Tony thanked the principal and her staff. As a gesture of gift-giving back, Tony gave her a 100,000 pesos check for the renovation and improvement of the school to make it more conducive to learning for the future students of his town. Another beneficiary of Tony and Priscilla Pizarro's philanthropy is the Divine Mercy Foundation of Southern California, whose mission is to build a Divine Mercy site in Encinitas, California. The couple donated over $75,000 and plan to donate more to the project. Their latest charitable endeavor is with Better Life for Better Future, BF, a social project that feeds, educates, houses, and mentors poor children, including those from indigenous tribes in the Philippines. BLBF is also training and mentoring the children in job skills and livelihood projects. The plan is to put up similar projects in the Pizarro hometown of Orphan, Bataan, financed by the Pizarro couple. Dirt poor. It is hard to imagine that Tony Pizarro was able to achieve these successes since he grew up quite literally dirt poor. He lost his mother when he was 4 years old. His father, already with 6 children of his own, remarried. She was also a widow who herself had 6 children. Still, the couple bore another child, Tony's stepsister, Aure Pizarro, further increasing the brood and lessening resources. It was Brady Bunch before the popular TV show in the 1980s was aired. With so many mouths to feed in a household with already very limited resources, Tony ended up with whatever was left for him to eat, since the eldest in the brood always took the first crack at the food available and down the line. He was lucky whenever there were viand left for him, so oftentimes he had to flavor his rice with condiments, usually drops of patas fish sauce. He was transferred to the care of one relative to another until he became old enough to join the U.S. Navy, enabling him to take control of his own destiny. All he needed was a chance, which he embraced to the fullest with his talent, hard work, and perseverance. As a result of his industry and foresight, Tony was able to help himself and other people, and in the process achieve the ultimate American dream. Graduation speaker message to the youth. In April 1, 1995, Tony Pizarro was invited by his high school principal and cousin, Mrs. Josefa A. Simeon, to be the guest speaker at the graduation ceremonies of his alma mater, Jose Rizal Institute, in Orphan, Bataan, Philippines. One of the policies of the school for many years, which we have been faithfully following, is the selection of a successful alumnus in his own field of endeavor to be the guest speaker on graduation day, she wrote Tony in her letter of invitation. This policy is being practiced with the hope that the speaker will serve as an inspiration to the new graduates. In this connection, and with a firm belief that you will no doubt inspire them, the candidates for graduation, class 1994 to 1995, we are extending to you our sincerest invitation to be their guest speaker come April 1, 1995 at 5 p.m. in the school campus. Tony gladly accepted the offer and traveled to the Philippines for the special occasion. Below is his inspiring speech, which sums up the story of his life. Tony DeLeon Pizarro's speech. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. Mrs. Josefa Simeon, Principal, Jose Rizal Institute Teaching Faculty, graduating class of 1995, students, family relatives, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I have flown for over 18 hours and traveled over 10,000 miles to be here with you today. I am truly honored and privileged to be your guest speaker for this memorable graduation day. 36 years ago today, I sat where you are sitting now. I look at your faces and see my class of 1958. I look across the courtyard and recall both the difficult and fond memories of my time at JRI. I walked to school for miles only with the basic needs in life, the clothing on my back with the sanellas, slippers on my feet, because my family could not afford to buy us a pair of shoes and other luxuries in life. Yet we learned even more how to appreciate the simple things in life. I was not lucky enough to have the love, support, and encouragement from parents during my childhood. In my humble beginnings, I grew up as the youngest of 7 children, moving around from house to house and living with different families, because my mother had passed away when I was only 4 years old. But during those years of hardships, I became strong, efficient, independent, mature, and always unquestionable, seeking a quest for a better life. I also have fond memories of my teachers, Mrs. Simeon, who is Ate Peppa, my English teacher who taught our class words like analogy, that the opposite of bride is groom, which led me to believe that the opposite of brides is maid, which I always thought are 2 different people. Perhaps it is in my 4th year that I recall the best years of my life in high school. Possessed with the spark of leadership, creative ability, and self-confidence, I was voted to be the president of the student body and handpicked to become the battalion commander at Jose Rizal Institute. It was an auspicious beginning of my life. My ability to show leadership, demonstrate my organizational skills, and become an effective leader for others to follow blossomed. Life is a journey. Today, I would like to inspire you by walking with me through the cavalry of my life, full of obstacles, pain, agony, suffering, laughter, and happiness, and leave you with thoughts that someday my success will come true to you in your lifetime. It was 36 years ago today when I left Orphan, Bataan, to go to a foreign country, America, and report for duty at the United States Naval Training Center in San Diego, California. It was at that significant moment that I began my life's global experiences. I was very young and very lucky indeed to be able to enlist in the United States Navy, for which I am forever grateful. I was by record one of the token few to start from the lowest and reach the highest rank as an enlisted man in a very short span of time of 16 years. I have had the most challenging duties imaginable in my naval career. In view of my proven toughness, aggressiveness, and continued superior performance, I was commissioned to become a Naval Supply Corps officer in 1979. It was in the summer of 1980 when I went through 6 months of rigorous academic training with very little time to prepare. Unknown to me, I was being sent to a school together with the graduates of the United States Naval Academy, the officer candidate schools, and different, prestigious universities across the nation. Compared to them, I was just a high school graduate from Jose Rizal Institute, with barely a year in college. It was a record that remains unchallenged today. It manifested my steadfast will to graduate from the Navy Supply Corps School at Athens, Georgia, and my desire to be the best from others. Banking heavily from my wealth of experience as a former enlisted man, coupled with personal gut, instinct, and drive, I put myself head and shoulders above my peers, while surmounting all the hardship of an academician. In my 5th month in school, I was again handpicked to take over a Navy supply support logistics operation in a small island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia. My schooling was short of 1 month, but in view of problems on hand, I was exempted from my final exams, not knowing I was to recruit Filipinos in the Philippines for manpower support of our mission. Now, in 1995, I ran a fast-growing services company, and today, you have just accomplished an important step in your career. The sweetness and the ecstasy of today's success for each and every one of you will be the core of the next stage of your education. This is where the struggles start and your challenges in life begin. However, the framework, values, and the principles you have learned in this institution of higher learning, JRI, will lead you to fulfill your destiny. To attain success, achieve, and fulfill your dreams, you must have a strong commitment, determination, and faith in yourself. Let no one discourage you from obtaining the rewards you rightly deserve through hard work. Let no one impede the pathways leading to your goals. Instill pride in yourself by always setting commendable standards of performance. So, graduates of our beloved alma mater, the Jose Rizal Institute, remember that I am a living example of that testament. Remember that your dreams can come true in your lifetime, for I was just like you many years ago sitting in those chairs. At this time, I would like to acknowledge my family and the recipients of this year's awards from our Santos Pizarro Scholarship Foundation. This foundation aims to give an opportunity to other deprived students who could not afford to finish high school and continue their educational endeavors, so that someday he or she can become shining examples for others to follow. At this time, I would like to present them to you. When I graduated from high school, I did not have the opportunity to continue my college education due to lack of funds. I promised myself then that my children will reap the fruits of my labor and make sure they will get the best quality education available. To date, I am proud to announce my children's educational achievements. Both are well exposed to travel and have lived and visited Europe and Asia as well as all over the United States. My oldest son, Gerard Pizarro, 28 years old, is now a practicing lawyer in San Diego. In 1992, he obtained his Juris Doctorate degree from the Western State University in San Diego, California, and passed the California bar exams on his first try. He also has attended the following universities while pursuing his bachelor's degree in law: University of San Diego, University of California in Los Angeles, and American College of Switzerland in Lausanne, Switzerland. My daughter, Wendy Mae Pizarro, is 24 years old and is currently completing her second year at Harvard Law School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She will be graduating next year for her Juris Doctorate degree. Wendy completed her bachelor and master's degree in political science at Yale University, where she graduated magna cum laude in 1992. Upon graduation, she accepted a Rotary Ambassadorial Scholarship to attend Oxford University at Oxford, England, and graduated with a second master's degree in British Commonwealth history. While in high school, she was sent by her school to study for a semester at Granada, Spain, and had witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall in the summer of 1991. As I have instilled in my children the importance of education, I also hope that they will also inspire young people to pursue their studies and careers. As they have thanked me every Father's Day, now I should also thank the people who have influenced and supported me in my life. There are many I must thank, for I cannot ever forget where I came from. First, I would like to thank God for providing me through the years with good fortune, my parents for creating me, my Auntie Isabel and Auntie Liwanag, who recently passed away, and who had taught me values and wisdom, and to my sister Ida, who helped me grow up through the years. I would also like to thank my family, especially my loving wife who could not be here today, Dr. Priscilla Santos Pizarro, a practicing physician in San Diego. She was born in Wawa, Orion, Bataan, graduated from Arellano Elementary School, attended high school at the University of Santo Tomas in Manila, and subsequently completed her Doctor of Medicine degree at UST. My son, Gerard, and my daughter, Wendy, also could not be here today due to other legal commitments. Last but not least, I would like to thank my school teachers for giving me insight and academic exposure. Without them and their abilities to teach me, I will not be standing in front of you today. Remember, graduates, the fundamental ingredients of success: self-motivation, determination, self-discipline, self-empowerment, courage, and wisdom. But the most importantly of all is education. Stay in school as much as possible and always strive for personal excellence. Don't lose any hope, for the quitter never wins and the winner never quits. Education must be accompanied with a strong faith in God. I encourage you to take risks and learn from all your mistakes with the hope that you never make the same mistake again. Thank you for inviting me to be your honored guest speaker today. May the Lord be with you always. Good luck. Mabuhayang Pilipinas. Mabuhayang Filipino. Tony Pizarro, 58, 1995, graduation speaker, Jose Rizal Institute, Orion, Bataan.